Are you all right?
Sana called out the moment she stepped into the room. Yuri gave a small, hesitant nod from atop the bed, but her attention was quickly stolen by Bibi, who was fluttering his wings playfully behind Chris.
Where are we?
Yuri asked, her gaze drifting toward the wall made entirely of glass. Outside the window, a breathtaking world of shimmering, transparent lake waters stretched out as far as the eye could see, as if they were suspended within the heart of the water itself.
This is a city called the Teos, located within the inner world.
Chris answered. Beside him, Sana gave a firm nod of confirmation.
The inner world.
Yuri repeated, the words sounding foreign on her tongue. Yeah, Chris continued gently.
The interior of the Earth is actually hollow, and it's home to over 100 different cities. There are tens of thousands of people living down here. Claire and the others you met, they're all residents of this world.
I see.
Yuri murmured. She nodded slowly, but her expression remained utterly dazed. It was clear that her mind was still struggling to process the sheer, impossible scale of the reality Chris had just revealed.
I'm so sorry for bringing you here without your permission,
Sana said softly, perching herself on the edge of the bed in an apologetic gesture.
How much do you remember? Do you recall when Claire and the others arrived?
Oh yes, I think so.
Yuri murmured, lowering her eyes as she tried to pierce through the haze of her memory.
The dragons and Claire showed up. And they said I was possessed by a demon and needed to have it driven out. I remember stepping into the magic circle Claire made.
She paused, her brow furrowing slightly.
Then the wind started to blow, and my body felt so light, almost weightless. I remember that much, but everything after that is just a total blank.
Sana nodded, processing Yuri's fragmented recollections.
Once Claire began her incantation within the magic circle, the demons that had been clinging to you began to tear themselves away, one after another. And once the last of them had been driven out,
she continued gently,
you simply collapsed where you stood, losing consciousness instantly.
Chris offered a solemn nod from beside her, silently confirming the gravity of Sana's words.
The reason Claire and the others came for us was to bring us back to their world.
Sana began. She glanced briefly at Chris before adding,
well, to be more precise, they came to fetch Chris. As for why they need him,
Sana paused, noting that it was a long story, then began to recount the purpose behind their arrival. She spoke of the Earth's ascension and the encroaching forces of darkness. She explained the existence of the inner world, and the mystery of the crystal elements. She revealed that Chris was one of the chosen ones, and went on to describe everything that had transpired during their previous mission in the undersea world. Sana possessed a firmer grasp of the situation than even Chris did, and her explanation was remarkably clear. Her account of the undersea world was so vivid and immersive that Yuri hung on every word. Her expression shifted rapidly, from astonishment to sorrow, and then to anger. Her eyes sparkling with wonder as the grand tapestry of their journey unfolded before her.
So this time, we're heading to the Haze city to find the very last crystal element, one called Ventus.
Sana explained.
There's another chosen one there who's been entrusted with the task, but they seem to be having a bit of a hard time. That's why Chris was called in to help with the search. And well, that's why Bibi and I are tagging along again too.
As Sana finished her long explanation in one breath, Yuri let out a low, whoa, and nodded deeply, her eyes wide with newfound admiration for their journey.
Then came the question of what to do with you while you were unconscious.
Sana continued, her voice softening.
Claire insisted that bringing you along would be better for you and that your guardian dragon would be happy about it too. So, we made the decision to take you with us.
She paused, looking a bit sheepish.
I mean, we couldn't exactly leave you sleeping all alone on the school grounds, right?
Sana gave a small, apologetic shrug, only to find Yuri staring back at her in stunned silence. Caught off guard by the intensity of Yuri's gaze, Sana offered a hesitant, flustered apology once more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sana stammered.
You're upset about this after all, aren't you?
No, not at all.
Yuri shook her head vigorously and took Sana's hands in hers.
More importantly, what about my guardian dragon? Do you mean I actually have one of my own?
She asked with a radiant expression, her excitement clearly bubbling over.
Ah yeah, apparently so.
Sana replied.
Claire said that it would reveal itself to you eventually.
Really? Yuri whispered, cupping her cheeks in her hands. She was so overwhelmed with happiness that her eyes began to glisten with tears, as if she might cry from sheer joy at any moment.
So, once the energy adjustment is complete, we'll be heading to the Haze City.
Sana explained.
But what about you, Yuri? Like I said, it could be dangerous, just like the undersea city was.
Wait, what? I'm going.
Yuri interjected instantly, as if the answer were obvious.
I mean, time doesn't pass on the surface while we're here, right? And I've already finished my final exams.
She shrugged dismissively.
If I can return to the exact moment I left, then I don't see any problem at all.
Hearing those words, Chris was suddenly hit by a wave of profound gloom. Final exams, he had completely, utterly forgotten they existed. While Yuri was already in the clear, Chris and Sana had their finals looming just next week. As the realization sank in, a fleeting, desperate thought flashed through his mind.
Maybe I should just stay here in the inner world forever. I'm glad to hear that.
Sana said with a smile, rising from the bed.
In that case, let's head over to join the others. Are you feeling up to it? No dizziness or anything?
Yuri nodded, her face brightening with a smile.
Oh, but before we go, you probably want to take a bath, right? Chris and I have already finished ours.
Sana added.
I'll show you how to use the restroom and everything too.
Sana then turned to Chris.
Why don't you and Bibi head back up to the living room first?
As he was told, Chris gathered Bibi and made his way back upstairs to join the rest of the group.